Paddy Broughton, Kialoa II. Tell us a bit about your race.
Well, it was a very interesting, multifaceted race. We had a very slow getting out of the harbour. As you can imagine, when the breeze is less than about 10 knots, weighing 45 tonnes isn't the easiest thing to move around. But once we got out of the harbour and rolling down the coast, we had a fabulous run for a couple of days. Really, really good. Great running conditions. Spinnakers up. 5-sail reaches occasionally. We certainly were still running the heaviest spinnaker in 30-odd knots, and we were storming along, very, very stable, really nicely done. Great steering by some of the boys. And then again, we fell into a few holes yesterday morning as we approached Tasmania, and that was quite hard work, keeping the old girl rolling during all of that. But we got her going, and then we approached Tasman Island this morning, and we managed to get download some sat data and get a couple of readings off the weather station at the top of Tasman Island. And it was, I think at the stage we took the readings, it was blowing 40 knots and gusting 60. So we were thinking, okay, we've got a proper Storm Bay crossing coming. And we did. We absolutely toughed it out going across Storm Bay today. And then we got ourselves rolling again, and well, here we are. We broke last year's time, which for us was a great call, in notionally a slower race anyway, so we were quite happy with that. The mast that Johnny Denton built us has been superb. It really stood up beautifully. We had 2 reefs and a number 3 up, and it was gusting well over 30, and we were just storming along, not a peep out of the mast. So basically another cracking Sydney Hobart race.
Better still this year, no broken booms. Any other damage?
No damage at all. None at all, which is great. I think Grunter might have burnt his arm getting dinner out of the oven on the first night, and that was it, I think.
And for the uninitiated, Grunter is?
Grant Chessels. He's a very good sailor. We got very fed up eating rubbish food a few years ago, and he is our cook, and he excelled himself. As we were crossing Bass Strait, we had spicy roast pork, roast potatoes, roast pumpkin, peas, carrots, gravy, Yorkshire pudding and apple sauce, and it was probably the best meal I've ever had on a boat, I think.
And all of this for the full crew out of one small oven?
He did 18 crew, yeah, it was phenomenal.
And apart from the highlights of just ripping it down New South Wales coast, you looked sensational from the air, incidentally, with 5 sails up. Looks absolutely spectacular. Were any other highlights?
I think actually getting round Cape Rowell was quite good.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and as always, going past the Taste of Tassie when you finished and getting a reception, which the old girl deserves. And then one final one, as we were coming up the Derwent, beautifully flat, but some quite strong gusts, and she did that classic, long, slender Sparkman and Stephens yacht thing where she just rolled over, kept going in an absolute straight line, and then slowly came upright and went ever faster. And I have to say, I really enjoyed that as well.
So what's next for Kialoa?
Big year coming up. We're going to sail from Sydney to Newport, Los Angeles, and do the Transpac race. It's the 50th running of the Transpac race, and then sail her back to Sydney to do the 75th Sydney Hobart race.